the fuck is that guy?
I make my own moves, yeah, I'm bossing.
All weak bitches, please proceed to the exit.
Is there no one else? Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
We are not for the weak.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Not for the Week podcast. It's your boy James.
It's your boy Wes Hamble.
We got Wes, but we don't have Jeremy. Jeremy's MIA because he got a big boy job, and
He's too cool for us.
He's making money, and he'd rather make money than hang out with us. So
Hey,
that's cool.
Shout out to Jeremy. Sold me a car yesterday.
He sold Wes a car though.
I bought a car from him. Actually, thank you so much, bro. I really appreciate it. It's a good car. It's got a 13 Malibu. It's nice. It's nice. Good transportation.
Hey,
So
big moves.
heck yeah.
And now Wes can be on the podcast more because he has a car to get here.
Exactly.
So there we go. Win-win for everybody.
It's a win-win.
Anyway, what's going on with you, Wes, man?
Oh, freaking not a whole lot, dude. Just honestly, just been working. Trying to get over with you guys more at Duo, which is gonna be cool. Start training with you guys a bit. Wanted to get on the podcast and talk about this Instagram thing that's going on right now. Getting rid of likes. What do you think of that?
I know, dude. What the hell? People are freaking out about that. Like, I guess they've been doing it already in like the UK and Canada, maybe, but I guess, people are freaking out like all over social media.
Well, I think who it's really going to affect is, I would say, I don't know what you think about this, but influencers.
Yeah.
To a point, I think influencers will be affected by it. I mean, because is it basically just, I actually don't really know. Is it going to just not show the likes?
So I don't know. Originally, when they were talking about it, they were saying like that they were going to get rid of the likes so other people couldn't see how many likes you got, but deep down, like in your analytics, you would still see how many likes you were getting.
Right.
Like, so that you could still show that to companies, I guess. But now I'm starting to think maybe that just getting rid of likes altogether. Like, I don't know, because the reason they're getting rid of the likes is supposedly so that like people like become less addicted to the likes, and like it helps with society, because I guess there's a lot of like negative feelings about like people becoming hooked on likes and like it affecting their mood. Like, oh, I'm not getting as many likes as so and so they're feeling like invalidated because like, oh, people don't like me. But
that's a real thing.
Yeah, no, it's 100% a real thing. Like, and on a micro scale, I can see where like sometimes I'll post something and it gets like no interaction, no likes. I'm like, fuck, dude. Like it kind of puts like a little bit of a bad mood on you, like whether it's temporarily or like all day, or like for me, it's normally like I'm upset for like a couple minutes, like 10, 15 minutes, but then I'm like fine, like whatever. It used to affect me way more, like when I was first like trying to grow my social media, it would like really upset me. Like, damn, dude, like what the fuck am I doing wrong? Yeah. But nowadays I don't really care as much. Yeah. But I can definitely see where like kids, especially like teens, because like when you're a teenager, like your emotions are already fucked. Yeah. And so like now, like you're getting your sense of popularity through your likes, and it's like people don't like me.
Yeah. I wonder what it's going to do. I wonder is that going to be a permanent thing, or is it going to be temporary?
I think they're testing it out. Okay. I don't know if it's official. Yeah. And I don't even think everybody's getting it. I think only certain people are going to get it at first, like, because that's how Instagram usually does when they roll things out. Like only certain people get it at first. But my thing is like, if you're getting rid of the likes so that people can't see it, but I can still see how many likes I get, like, how does that benefit like my mental health? Because like, now you're just getting it so that you can't compare it to other people. Right. But like, I feel like the reason you're getting rid of it is to like benefit. I don't know, unless they're trying to stop people from comparing to other people.
I think that's the biggest thing, is I think that kind of messes with people quite a bit, is I think it's going to, kind of getting away from the influencers for a second, I think just kind of like your average person on Instagram, it's going to give them that comfortability to like post what they want instead of what will get a reaction out of people, which is going to be healthy, I think, in a way. I mean, to be completely honest with the world that we live in and how people kind of are looking for that gratification, that justification from people, whatever, for
like validation.
The validation is the word I was looking for. I don't know what's going to happen. I think it's probably going to get a lot of negative feedback is what's going to happen.
Well, I'm thinking, because like we were actually just talking about this before the podcast started, like like how people are just doing things like stupid, outrageous things for interaction.
Oh yeah.
And now that like if we're not tracking likes,
Yeah.
are people going to kind of scale back on like the stupid shit that they do? Like maybe,
right?
Like because now you don't know. Well, I mean, you're still going to know because if they still have it in your analytics where you can see how many likes, but if other people can't see how many likes, like maybe people aren't going to be like, oh, so and so posted this weird video, I'm going to recreate that,
right?
Because it's getting a lot of traction. Because now you're not going to know necessarily.
I wonder how things are going to because isn't that like how popularity is kind of how some things appear on like Discovery and stuff like that. So I wonder if that algorithm is going to change. Maybe not, because it's just hiding. It's just
hiding the likes. So maybe that's probably still going to be the same. So it's still going to have like the popular posts are still probably going to show up there, but now you're not going to know how popular that post is.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the whole thing. Is that's why people do. I mean, that's why Vitaly. That's why he does the stuff that he does. Is he's getting reaction.
They're trying to get on the Explore page. They're trying to go viral.
Right.
But now, if you're not seeing what is going viral, but you're still, I don't know how you're going to track it.
I don't know.
And if you're still keeping the analytics to yourself, like if you still get your analytics, you're going to see what is going, and you're still going to maybe do those viral, like stupid pranks or like the flashing people or whatever to try to get attention because you know it's getting likes, but other people aren't going to know it's likes.
Exactly.
But I don't know. It's going to be really strange, dude. It's going to be interesting.
I think it's going to make, I wonder if it could kind of go either or. I wonder if it's going to make people's posting more frequent for that reason. Well,
it really depends. Like it depends how they're going to do it. Like, can I see what my likes are? Because if I can still see what my likes are, then it's not going to necessarily dictate how much I post or like what I post, because I still will be able to see, oh, that post isn't doing very well. What I wonder is, will it decrease likes overall though? Because now, if I'm not seeing how many likes something's getting, do I still like it now? You know what I mean? Like will it affect how I like something?
Maybe that's what they're trialing. I think that's what they're going to trial, is they're going to see what's going to happen to. They're going to see what's going to happen to these people. Well, Kenny KO did an example of something. I think other people have been doing it too. There's a program I think that you can get where you show how many followers are legit that you have, like are active people, and like there's obviously people who like have just bought
100%
and stuff like that, and that's one thing. But he ran it on some big influencers, YouTubers and stuff like that. He did it on like Summer Rae. I think he did it on Bradley Martin and like Callum and stuff like that, and showed what percentage of their followers were real and were actually engaging with their accounts. It's kind of a rough estimate, but it's relatively accurate. And so Summer Rae, for example, has like 20 million, 22 million or something followers on Instagram, something crazy like that. And only half of them apparently are like legit people, which is still a fuck ton. That's still a lot of people.
Still a lot of people.
Yeah.
And, you know, like sometimes I wonder what it takes into account, because, you know, whether or not she bought the followers, that's up in the air. Like, people did it, especially when Instagram was first starting, like, and you couldn't tell, and you didn't know what to look for. But now, like, sometimes people get inactive, like they start a new account and they don't delete their old account, and that person's, or bot accounts just follow you randomly. Like I'll get that. Like I'll get bot accounts that just follow me
and just view your shit.
And just view my shit, and then they become inactive or whatever. Like they're just trying to they're trying to get you to follow them back. So they're trying to build all these accounts. And so like, or for some reason, or they're trying to get you to go to that account so that you see what's on that account and maybe go follow something. I don't know. There's a bunch of different reasons, but like there's a lot of,
they're making it, how they're showing that it's like a bot, like you know what I'm saying? So it must be an activity thing. It must be. So like if there was an account that necessarily wasn't legit, it was being operated, it was like a bot or whatever, like, would that show up as an active follower?
I don't know.
That's what.
Like, what do they consider active? Because I know some people I went to high school with that have Instagram accounts that don't upload. And like they upload like every 3 months, maybe or something.
Exactly.
But they're like, or maybe they check their Instagram every like 3 months. I don't know. So what do they dictate? Because is that considered like a bot, or is that
Right.
considered a fake follower? And
It would probably be an activity thing because I think like there's people who are on those accounts like every day, but they don't necessarily they'll watch stories and view like I know people who have like, and I'm sure everybody does have like fucking fake accounts and stuff like that. They like go view stuff but they don't necessarily like anything. They don't necessarily follow anybody. You know, following 0 people, 0 followers, but they view stories. Yeah. So I'm just wondering like. It just must be an activity thing. It just must be an active.
And what do they consider active? Like, is it viewing a story? Is it liking a post? Is it scrolling?
Right.
Like, or is it just simply logging into the account?
Has to be some kind of like a frequency, kind of frequency on social media. I don't. Yeah, exactly. That'd be a good question though for whoever knows that.
But the thing about it is, like, nobody knows because I don't know anybody that works at Instagram. I don't think I know anybody who knows anybody that works at Instagram. Like,
it's probably fucking ran by the Illuminati.
Yeah, you know, like you email Instagram and you try to talk to a real person, like you never talk to a real person. It's always automated. You can't contact anybody.
It's like trying to get a hold of Microsoft.
Yeah, like right. Although Microsoft, you can at least call. You can't call Instagram.
That's true. That's true. Actually, that's. Somebody, if anybody has that leaked information, somebody
if you know somebody that works at Instagram, let us know.
This is a conspiracy theory.
Maybe nobody works at Instagram.
It's fucking ran by a bot.
It's an AI.
It probably is, dude. It's so popular now, and it's so. I wonder. I'm like really. So I am really.
It's like Skynet, bro.
It is. Yeah.
But
motherfucker.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I'm kind of excited for it, but only from the aspect of like. I'm excited for it because I don't know what it means.
Yeah.
Like if it helps, I'm excited for it. But like, I don't know. I feel like most of the changes that Instagram makes are not super great. Like,
well, just changing the algorithms and stuff like
algorithms and like
hashtags,
who shows up. Like I have friends that I never see their posts. Like, and I don't know. I'll see like people that I don't necessarily care about, but I still follow because like for some reason, like I want to. I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to offend them by unfollowing them.
I know. I have got some of them. I've literally like there have been times where I'm just going through like who I'm following, and I'm like, I'm just gonna keep following you because I don't want anything. Like, I mean, they probably wouldn't even see if I unfollowed them, but just like I don't know.
It's always awkward though because if it's somebody that you see regularly and you unfollow them, and like I don't necessarily notice who unfollows me very often, but like if I don't have very many people that follow me in the first place, I'll notice like if somebody unfollows me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
No. I do. I have the app that shows it, and it's kind of a dangerous thing because it kind of shows. I try not to get like too offended by it, and I actually openly say like there's times where I post shit and I'm like, hey, you know what? If somebody gets offended by something I post, that's fine. Yeah. You know what? If you don't want to follow me, that's okay. We can still be cool outside of the gym or outside of Instagram. But like with that being said, it kind of does piss me off when certain people do unfollow me. I'm like, I feel like now it's going to be weird in person.
Well, like especially if it's somebody that like you thought you were still cool with.
Yeah,
and like because I have that app too. I have the app, but I haven't logged into it in a couple months because part of me's thinking like I heard so many people talk about like if you're logging into outside Instagram things, it hurts your account. So I was like, I'm not going to log into this anymore.
Okay,
but I have it. But somebody big. Like, you know, really big in the fitness community unfollowed me, and like I was like, oh man, like this person's cool. Like we talk a little bit every now and then, and then they unfollowed me, and I was like, damn, what did I do?
Do you think they did it, or do you think it was a?
I don't know.
Well, I guess
that's one of the things.
Well,
it's like,
they would have to do it because a bot doesn't do that.
No,
right?
bots don't necessarily. Some bots do unfollow.
Oh, maybe it is an engagement thing.
If it's one of those things where it's like they're only following like a couple hundred people.
Yeah.
Then it's generally like somebody that person's actually unfollowing you.
Does it make you think? Or are you like, what the fuck did I do?
Well, you think like, man, what happened that all of a sudden now you're unfollowing me?
Right.
Or like if somebody that's been following you for a long time unfollows you, it's like, man, like
yeah.
But then part of me thinks, oh, maybe this is just the algorithm kicking in, and they haven't been seeing my shit for the last couple months, and now all of a sudden they saw it and they're like, oh, I forgot I meant to unfollow the guy a long time ago.
People do that, bro. People do that. People, like, I know for a fact that even people who aren't even, like, big with Instagram, they're kind of like, well, I don't have a reason to follow this person because I never see their shit. Yeah. And they'll unfollow you. That's like, you know.
Well, that happened to me. I unfollowed somebody recently, and it was the same thing. It was like, why am I following this person? I've never seen this person's post in my life. Yeah. Like, I forgot that I was following them because I haven't seen their stuff in, like, months.
Just kind of a waste
of so I saw him, and I was like, no, I'm not. not cool with you.
Right.
I don't even really know who you are.
Yeah.
Like, so I unfollowed, and it was like,
power.
they might be super offended by that. Like,
Yeah.
damn, James unfollowed me. And it's like, I don't know. Part of me thinks like, hey, if we're cool and I talk to you on a regular basis, I'll follow you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're cool. Like, I'm not going to unfollow you.
Right.
But if I don't talk to you and I never see you and like
Yeah.
literally my only connection to you is through Instagram, you can't get super offended if I unfollow you, because like I don't really know you. Like, if we DM a lot, I'll follow you, and like we're cool. Like, I'm not going to unfollow you.
Right.
But like, if I don't know who you are.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because people put too much and that's part of the issue with Instagram is people put too much like thought into Instagram. Like, you like this picture, like that's like let's say I liked, for example, let's say I liked like a Trump, like somebody was posting like a "Make America Great Again" like hat, and I like that post maybe because I like that person,
Right.
regardless of my politics, right? They're like, oh, he must be a Trump supporter because he liked that thing. It's like, dude, it's Instagram.
Yeah.
That does not affect who I am as a person, like, or, whatever, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, but people put like so much faith into that. Oh, you're following so-and-so, you must be super cool with them. It's like, no, it's Instagram, dude. Like,
that's what I think in a fucking sense they're sort of trying.
They're trying to combat, and I fuck with that. That's a good thing. Like, we need to give Instagram a little bit less power over our lives,
because it does, dude. There's times. I mean, I actually have a I don't know how I don't like how I have it set up like that, but like when I got my new phone, it shows like my like screen time, or
it does that automatically, I think.
And it's pretty crazy. Like, there's some days where I'm like, I need to go fucking life. Like, I literally like
it like pops up. You've been on Instagram for 5 hours, bro.
You are a pussy. I'm just like, okay.
I wish it would call you. You should be able to customize those alerts. So it's like popping up. It's like, dude, you spent 5 hours on Instagram, but I noticed your GPS. You weren't at the gym this week.
Yeah, go to the fucking gym, bro. Stay off your phone. Or like, or
you went to McDonald's 7 times this week, bro. But you've been on Instagram for 7 hours, but you haven't been at the gym. Like get your shit together.
The fucking Globo Gym screen in the movie where it's like, he's like, you call that a sit up? Don't slack over there, Trevor. I'm watching you, like sort of thing. Just like
shame you.
Crazy, bro.
I mean, it should be. It'd be hilarious. It's like, you're a fat piece of shit, Jay. I mean, it tracks your location anyway. Like, it'll pop up and be like, I'll get in my car. It'll pop up and be like, you're 5 minutes away from the gym.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is the time that I normally go to the gym. It's like popping up to remind me and like give me directions. It's like, you can easily tell me if I haven't been there in a while. Like, pop up and be like, hey, you haven't been to the gym in a while.
There's got to be something. There has to be like some kind of, I don't know if it'd be like an app that you download or something, but there has to be like some kind of alert or something.
Oh,
that
I'm
you
sure
can
there
customize.
is. I'm sure there is.
I just haven't fucked with it. I'm sure that there is something funny in there, but
I had an app idea, and someone will probably steal it now that I'm putting it out there. But my idea was creating an app that you could put like somebody, like an accountability person on it. Like, let's say it's like your personal trainer or whatever, or your coach, and like it'll alert that coach if you're at somewhere like a McDonald's or like GPS. So like you're within 100 yards of McDonald's. Like you walked into a McDonald's,
right?
And it'll text your coach and be like, so and so is at McDonald's.
Oh shit! Like a little call it narc.
Yeah, it's like a narc app.
Yeah,
I mean, and it would be a perfect. Like you could apply it to other things, like like if you're a recovering alcoholic or whatever, and you're in a bar, it'll like text your sponsor, like like so and so's at the bar or so and so's at the liquor store.
God, dude.
But I thought that would be hilarious because when I was training, especially, like I had clients, and it's like, I'm not losing any weight. It's like, well, what were you eating? And it's like, I was eating the chicken and the rice. It's like, no, you weren't.
You weren't. No, you don't lie to me.
And I was like, I wish I had something to like monitor and make sure that you were actually going where you need to go.
I saw you on the narc app, bitch. I was like, God.
You checked in 7 times at In-N-Out.
Godly. No wonder you're not losing weight. What the fuck is going on? Jeez Louise. That's a good idea. Nobody steal that.
Somebody's going to steal that, though.
Don't steal the narc idea.
If you steal it, though, shoot me a percentage.
Yeah, at least.
At least. Give me some royalties.
And maybe me a tiny bit just because I was in the conversation.
Wes came up with the name for it.
Yeah.
So, boom.
Exactly. Fucking... Dude, something else I wanted to touch on a bit was do you follow the Harrison twins? Like
a little bit,
Lewis
just because
and,
of Fit Maya.
Oh yeah, because he's doing
their program. So I check them out. I think I might have followed them.
I want to see those dudes, and they're kind of another one that I want to see what they look like in person because they're pretty impressive, like aesthetically.
But see, I was talking to Jeremiah about this, and because he was doing one of their programs, and the leg workouts he was saying were not like super intense.
Yeah,
and it was like, well, you got to think of who they are,
right?
And like they're party boys, like aesthetic guys. Like they're trying to look good at the club and look aesthetic in pictures and like be able to go to the beach club and like take their shirt off and look good.
Yeah.
Like they're not focused on developing like large, like muscular legs. They just want to look sleek. And so their leg workouts are not going to be super intense. Yeah. There's obviously going to be a lot of upper body, bench, chest, back.
Yeah.
And it's like, so it's what they are. Like I bet they seem like big guys, but I bet they're not like super crazy. Like,
well, fucking Jeremiah told me. I guess I was for some reason thinking they were probably like around my height. Yeah. I guess they're not. Apparently, which seems to be like everybody. But like, apparently he was telling me they're shorter. I think they're like 5'7", which is kind of common for twins. I feel like for the most part, like I feel like it's rare that you see like a tall
massive
set of twins.
Yeah.
But like I think like the Hodge twins that I could think of are probably like one of the rare because I think
they're
like
pretty tall. They're pretty tall dudes.
Something like that.
I think I saw them at one of the Olympias like a long time ago.
They're doing like comedy now, right?
Yeah, it's crazy how they completely pivoted out of fitness.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, the Harrison twins. I bet that. See, that's the deceptive thing about social media is like you'll see a guy, and if you pose right and you're lean. And you're close to the camera. It's not necessarily like you're cheating. You're not cheating. You're not like photoshopping your pictures, but you're gonna look bigger if you're leaner and if you have a pump and if you're close to the camera and if there's nobody else in the picture with you for scale. Like you'll look big. Yeah. So it's like I bet they're big guys. I bet they look good in person. Right. But I doubt that they're like. It's not like seeing Rich Piana. Like, oh my God, that guy's fucking massive.
It's rare to see, at least from everything that I've seen nowadays. It's very rare for me to see somebody in person that I'm actually like, okay, he's big, he's lean, he's taller than I thought. And there's a lot of people that are
there's a lot of jacked tall guys.
It's rare. For the most part, a lot of these dudes that I used to follow, well, way back in the day, a lot of people not even necessarily calling out Gymshark or anything like that, but a lot of Gymshark athletes, no, they're not big. They're not very big people.
And it lends itself because when you're not saying that it's easier when you're smaller, but it is a little bit easier if you're a smaller guy. You don't have to put on as much size to look, massive. Right? Yeah. Like you don't have as much weight overall that you have to put on. Right. Like me, I have to walk around at like 250 to look decently massive, right?
Right.
But if I was like 210, 215, I would look skinny as hell, even if I was shredded,
Because of how tall, because of the height?
Just because of how long my bones are and whatnot. Like, 20 pounds or 10 pounds of muscle in my leg is going to look, it's a lot of muscle, but it's not going to make my legs look as massive as if you put like 10 pounds of muscle in your legs. Right.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly. On a shorter, that's what I was actually just talking about that with somebody the other day is who were we comparing? We were talking about, I think it was Breon and George. Yeah. The classic guys, Olympia competitors. We were talking about, again, genetics, whatever, people who are enhanced, blah, 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 shit like that, all factors in. But regardless, we were talking about how crazy they look at these certain weights. Right. With that being said though, I want to actually like see what they look like in person. Like I want to stand next to one of them for comparison. Just for a comparison because I'm actually like, damn, okay. So you're pumped up, whatever. You're on a cycle, you got great genetics, you got great insertions, blah blah blah.
You're dieted down.
You're pumped up backstage, so you're looking phenomenal right now. You're oiled up. But I want to stand next to you, and I wanted, you know what I mean? Because I think it was saying that I think it was I think Breon and George, I think were roughly the same height, like 5'7".
Yeah.
But I think Breon, I'm pretty sure comes on stage 180, I think is what it said, or 185 maybe, which
that's massive.
Was astounding. That
That's
number
a
just
huge
shocked
number.
me.
That's a huge number for being 5'7".
Yeah, and like a lean and a fucking like a lean.
That's all like pretty much all muscle at that point.
Like no fucking no, like water's cut at that point. Like it's just muscle on his body. So it's just but it's pretty. Sometimes it's pretty. It's crazy. Like right now I'm probably in the morning I'm still I was like 195 in the morning.
So he's 10 pounds lighter than you.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 inches shorter than you.
Because I'm like just under 5'10".
Yeah, so he's like 3 inches shorter than you and 10 pounds lighter than you.
Yeah.
But probably if he stood next to you would look maybe like twice as big as
I
you.
know.
I would say, just from a muscular standpoint. And it goes down to when you're lean, you look more massive. You know what I mean? Like when I was cutting for the show, people were like, "Oh, dude, you look like you put on like X amount of muscle." It's like, no, I'm actually down, 15, 20 pounds.
Right.
But I look better because now the light hits me
differently,
and you can see the shading around my muscles. Like right now I'm 258 and and I'm pale and I took I was wearing a tank top in the gym yesterday and I was like, dude, I look shitty. I took a picture and I was like, I look shitty right now because I'm not lean. I'm probably like, high teen body fat right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe not that high. Maybe like mid to high teens. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't look as good.
Right.
But I'm 255, right?
Yeah.
I'm bigger than when I was when I maybe put on some muscle since the show, right?
Well, to me, you don't, and that's the funny thing is like to me, but it's so different how you see your body and how you feel too. And I think that a big thing too with like a lot of people is like I've had people like talk, post show and especially like post show. Even me, I had a relatively shitty prep because I cut so fast. My peak week was not correct. Like, you know what I mean? Blah, it was my first show. And I am going to do another show. I'm actually made a promise to myself that I will do another show. I'm not going to say like when necessarily right now, but I do want to do another show.
It's on the horizon.
It's on the horizon. So I got to hold myself accountable to that. But
you should do it next year.
Cascading, you think? Maybe.
I don't know. It's gonna be tough next year because I'm traveling so much, but I'm thinking about trying to maybe do that show too.
Yeah. Are you thinking maybe doing classic?
I don't know. We'll see.
It's
tough. It's tough for my legs to get lean, but I don't know.
Well, that would just
would be good in classic.
It would be a longer. I feel like for you, so
I would have to do a longer prep.
Which is a little rough. But
I would probably have to start prepping in end of January.
Have you ever looked into when Dana Lynn Bailey was prepping for her Olympia, how long her preps would be?
What, like 16 weeks?
She would do like 30-week preps, apparently.
So that makes me not want to prep.
They were saying that for that same reason, cutting that fucking water and stuff. But that's so long, dude. That is a long prep.
That's a long prep. And that literally is your life.
That's your life.
That's your life at that point, right? But it totally makes sense because like when I was on stage at 229. I probably should have been on stage around like low 220s because even though I was like pretty freaking lean, I could have been a little bit tighter and my legs were still not super diced.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had some cuts, but I wasn't like, I've never had those like crazy vascular legs. Like I've never been that lean.
Do you get pretty vascular? Like when you cut?
I get upper body wise. I get pretty vascular.
I get some I get similar veins and stuff like that kind of running through my forearms and biceps and stuff. But I don't know if it's like a sodium thing or like what it is. Well, genetics. I think it boils down to your genetics. I've just never been a very vascular person. Like even when I was really lean.
I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily genetics because I didn't used to be super vascular. Like I have like one shoulder vein that's like always been there, but like my arms never necessarily stayed super vascular. Yeah. But like it's one of those things where like as you cut consistently and diet down super lean, your body gets leaner and leaner and the quality of the muscle changes as well. So you get more vascular. Like this last prep I did was the most vascular I've ever been. Yeah. And it's gradually been like that every single show. I get more and more vascular.
Right.
and then you maintain some of that vascular. I'm not super vascular at this moment, but my arms still are more vascular than they were before I started cutting.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think once you kind of get those veins out too. Well, and obviously
they don't necessarily go away.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And that's too. And then I think that obviously
unless you put on a lot of fucking weight.
Yeah, no, for sure. The body fat percentage and stuff like that. That's kind of always one thing how I kind of can gauge. Even fucking around on my diet and not being like very consistent with things, I tend to not really go much over like 13%. I kind of hang around there. I hold, but you know what's funny, dude? I'm on my midsection. I just hold it all I just get
that's like where everything is. Yeah,
I hold it there, my lower back and stuff. But which is actually kind of exciting to me in a way because I'm like, damn, if my waist is still staying like this small. And I'm still watery and stuff
and you
here.
Still have some shit there.
It really comes in, and it did when I prepped for that show. It did. My waist was teeny tiny, so it's like. But yeah, no, I mean, I would like to do. Physique is cool. I think physique is cool. That's probably realistically what I would do. I'd probably almost kind of do like what
I don't know, dude. I think if you can, your legs are big enough to the point where I feel like if you have that tiny waist that you could get, and you have a decently large upper body, I feel like you do all right in classic. Yeah.
Just have to fucking, that would just, that's my goal is I would like to do classic. And I think my thing is too, is a lot of times like when I'm at the gym and I post the same fucking shit every time, just at the gym, just flexing and
you
stuff
always
like that.
do the same.
I'll always do the trap, just make myself look way bigger than I actually do. But I like to take videos. Well, usually for two reasons. Sometimes my hand is too fucking shaky to take a picture.
Yeah.
Just being honest. So actually, sometimes that's why I'll do a boomerang. But I like to take videos. Because I like to move. I kind of like to
and you see the cuts a little differently when you move, as opposed to
Exactly.
if you're just posing. Because like sometimes you don't flex as hard, or like, I don't know.
Like Josh Falcon like has this like when he's just standing there, like when he comes in dialed for a show, he dials it in. Like when he comes in for like his shows, he looks good just standing there. You know what I mean? For me, I feel like I can hit like a front on. I can actually hit like a front on, and it looks okay if I'm dialed like in my midsection and stuff like that, that's a good, if you can hit that shot and you don't have to angle your waist at all, that's dope.
Yeah.
Like
that means your waist is tiny. That means you got a good flow to your body.
Good frame. But I like to move, and I like to angle myself in certain ways. So that's kind of why and just for other reasons, I just think classic is awesome. It's so competitive, but I would like to do a classic show. But I would just have to, put on some size.
Yeah. I don't have a very small waist, so that I have to do a lot of that.
Angle it.
Yeah,
which is fine. I do too.
Well, part of that is too, is I don't have a very small waist, but I also don't have very wide lats.
Like a wide,
I don't have wide lats and wide shoulders. Like I don't have capped shoulders.
Yeah.
So it looks more wide than it really is, I guess.
Right.
So it's all like if I had super wide lats, and I could stand straight on, my waist could be big, but if my lats are wider than that, I'll look smaller. Right.
Yeah.
It's all proportions.
Even
basically.
for that show, bro, like even with that being said though, you can build it. You can build yourself to a point.
I could get to that. It's gonna take some time.
But you dialed it in, like your core, like your midsection and everything. Like I thought you looked fucking great for that show. Yeah. Like you looked good. But that's awesome. Like that's why I'm so envious of people like I don't know if envious. Well, yeah, envious is probably the right word. Like John Skywalker, just like his proportions. Yeah, his proportions of things. He's
got some good, and he's a tall dude. So that the fact that he looks the way he does means that he has good flow, good muscle. He's got good genetics, and
he's unique.
He's a unique look.
Yeah,
and it's an enviable look. But it's one of those things that like. Yeah, it's okay to strive for that, but like trying to recreate that is going to be very difficult for the average person unless you have similar genetics to that.
That's where people get very discouraged with things, and that's why you should never fucking compare yourself to other people.
And that's maybe why getting rid of the likes is going to help.
Yeah, no, actually, I think so. I think it will. I was trying to look at it from an optimistic standpoint. I think it will actually be good for a lot of people's heads.
I'm going to look at it on the optimistic side until it shows that maybe it's not a good
thing. I can guarantee, though, it's... I mean, we already probably like fucking anything. It's almost 2020. This is just how it goes with anything like this, especially as a powerful platform like Instagram. It's gonna get bashed really hard.
Oh, 100%.
People are gonna bash.
People are gonna hate it. Just like when the algorithm changed. I mean, some people really like the algorithm change. Some people hated the algorithm change.
Yeah,
I still don't particularly like the algorithm change, but because I don't like being told what I should like or what it thinks I should like.
Yeah.
I would rather just see like, hey, so and so posted this here.
Right.
Who cares if it gets buried?
Right.
I don't care if it gets buried. If my post gets buried by a bunch of other posts, fine. But, you know, give me the chance of maybe liking it. Stop assuming what I'm going to like. But it's funny, like, going back to, like, people that are going to bash that. One more thing that I wanted to touch on was, like, the fact that, like, I see all these people commenting, and especially on Twitter, it's like, oh, all these Instagram models are going to have to get, or these Instagram influencers are going to have to get real jobs. Now, it's like, it's one of those things that's funny, like, because like some of those Instagram influencers are kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, you're pushing your products, like you're just trying to. But at the same point, like they're making money. People who cares? Like,
dude, it's the online revolution.
Yeah.
Bro.
Why are you picking on these people because they're making money doing Instagram? Dude. Like that's literally just jealousy.
It's a jealousy.
It's a jealousy thing. You're mad because they're making money doing something that seems very simple and easy and like, oh man, they're just taking a picture and throwing it up there.
Yeah.
It seems really fucking easy.
Yeah.
And so you're just hating on that because like you're mad that you are going and working a 9-to-5 job, like that you don't necessarily maybe like.
Yeah, it is a narrow-minded jealousy thing.
Yeah.
Is what it is. It's 200%. I had people come through, bro. I had people come through Dutch when I was working at Dutch, and they're like, I remember, for example, like this one kid. I don't remember his name. I don't really care to know it, but like he was like, he's like, oh yeah, I used to work for Dutch Bros or like something like that. He's like, I got a real job now, and I was just kind of like, okay, like real as in like you're going and like cutting trees down
Like,
and like stuff like
what's
a real job? Because technically this is a real job that I am working and
I'm actually getting money.
I'm like, I'm making money. We're having fun. It's a cool job. The company's cool. They give a shit about their employees. Maybe it doesn't seem like a real job because there's a lot of freedom, and the uniforms are unique because they get like they fucking hook them up and give them dope shirts every month, stuff like that. But I'm like, yeah, dude, fuck you, bro. Like for saying that. First of all,
who are you to judge what is a real, like a respectable job? Oh, you don't work in an office, like
totally, exactly. Just like it's like if it's not a. I think that's a thing with not necessarily. I don't necessarily want to say it's like everybody in like my father's generation, but they kind of like bash on like our generation a bit with that kind of like. I feel like it's like basically like if you're not always doing something in a way, or you're not like a Monday through Friday 9 to 5 kind of like whatever, it's like you don't have a legit. I guess what I'm trying to say is you don't have a structured legitimate job. It's like I don't know. I think all I was trying to say
because they don't understand it.
It's not understood, and it's a jealousy thing, and 200%. Because Dutch is fun. It was a fun job. We could listen to basically whatever we wanted to listen to. You're making coffee. That's just one example. You know what I mean? That's just like I think jobs with more free. I think it's like, oh, what you're just mad because you can't do what like we're doing. It's
it seems like it seems like it's a simple job that requires very little training or skill. But I would argue, you know, it's not necessarily an easy job. Like you have to have a good personality. You have to be sociable with people. You have to make people feel like good about themselves, like on a regular basis, like consistently throughout the day. Yeah. Same thing with Instagram. Like, it's just taking a picture and posting it on the Instagram. Yeah. No, not necessarily. Like there's a lot of shit that goes into it that, especially if you're a successful like influencer and you're creating content, like I'm gonna be real. Creating content is tough. It is sometimes. You know what I mean? Like I'm not by any means an influencer or a good social media person. Yeah. Like I'm all right, but like I've seen guys that have like the 1 million plus followers, and I know guys that have like large social media, and there's a lot of shit that goes into it, and it runs successful YouTube channels and stuff. There's a lot of stuff. It is like a full-time job.
It is. It's a full-time
job.
It
just has more freedom.
Right. And I think a lot of people, maybe another thing too to touch on that, exactly what you were saying is, I think a lot of people can't do it. Yeah. I think like I don't necessarily like to say like somebody can't do something, but for lack of a better term, I think there are some people who can't fucking stand at the window at Dutch, for example, or create content, stuff like that. Talk to people consistently. Yeah. That's my thing. That was actually my thing why I've been so held up with starting a channel starting a YouTube channel was I was like, I want to be able to consistently put out content. Right now, I feel like I'm not quite in a. I don't want to say
you're not in the right mindset.
Not in the right mindset to do it consistently. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing is like once and the same thing with like fuckboy fitness. I still like literally do have that in the back of my head. I want to go all out with that, and I want it to be like because that's kind of how I am with things.
But you're not able to give yourself all the way to it.
Exactly. My thing is, in order for me to be really good at something, I have to actually. I mean, this is probably for a lot of people. I have to be really passionate about it.
Yeah. And you should be passionate. If it's not something you're passionate about, then you shouldn't be doing it.
Exactly.
Because there's no point. Like, and I think that's where a lot of that comes from. Is like, you'll see people that will force the passion, like especially with like the Instagram generation, like. It's like, oh, you can become famous overnight, blah, 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 like viral and make all this money on Instagram and like not have a regular, normal 9-to-5 job. And people are like, oh, I want that.
Right.
But why do you want it?
Right.
Do you want it because you just want the money or do you want it because you want like the perks and the benefits of it? Or is it something that you're actually passionate about? Like, do you enjoy making videos? Do you enjoy making content?
Right.
Do you enjoy making good content, like valuable content? Do you enjoy photography, that type of stuff? Like, because if you don't, and you're trying to become like an Instagram celebrity, it's not going to work. Yeah. Because it's not genuine. Right. And it doesn't transfer over. Like, people can see through the bullshit. No, totally. And if you're not being genuine and you're not passionate about what you're doing, nobody gives a fuck. Yeah. So and I think that there's two aspects of that. Like, one, people are doing stuff that they're not passionate about, and two, they're trying to force and create passion where there isn't. Exactly. You know what I mean? And that's a dangerous thing. And so it's good because if you were going out and you were putting out a bunch of fuckboy fitness content and like, I'm filming a channel, but you're not into it 100%, it's people can see that. And it's not going to be successful.
Well, and you know what's actually interesting to touch on that specifically, I wanted to bring up. Somebody is like Ziz, for example. Yeah. Ziz, if you guys listening like don't know who that is,
he's getting old now. Like I know that's like OG now. Yeah. Like a lot of the younger fitness crowd probably maybe doesn't know who he is.
So to kind
like
of
10 years ago, right?
Bit of a backstory on him really quick. He basically was just kind of somebody who. I don't know if I want to say, did he kind of like start like the aesthetic kind of like lifestyle?
He started like that aesthetic party boy, like EDM, looking shredded and going and partying lifestyle. I feel like, or at least he was one of the first people that put it out there like in social media. Yeah, broadcasted like, hey, I'm this good looking dude who dresses, hip and I look really shredded and I go party and dance and have a good time.
He was actually like my even before Jeff Side, he was actually my day one like motivation, like one of the guys that I really like looked up to. And super crazy story. So he passed away, and I think in 2012, I think was when it was. I think it was.
I don't know.
Shit, and it might have been 2000.
It might have been earlier than that because when I started getting into Instagram in 2012, I think he had already passed away because he was already like that figure like Ziz like looking back like I think it might have been 2010.
I didn't even know. So get this. So I was watching it. I think it might have been. I think it was. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was 2010, 2011. I was watching his videos and collabs that people had, or not collabs, like compilation videos of like him and stuff like
2011.
that. 2011.
August 2011.
Exactly. I was watching his videos and I didn't even know until I want to say like not quite a month, a few weeks in. I didn't even know he passed away. I didn't even know he was dead. And he's because he's still like. It's like I don't want to say it's fading like to a point because it's been a minute ago.
It definitely is fading at this point because I feel like there's so many more people that have kind of taken his spot. Yeah, and he was at the early part of social media, so there's not a ton of content like floating around about him as much.
Exactly, he was cool. His ideology behind things I think actually was really cool though. But there's a little clip. In one of his videos where he's because his whole thing was he basically was like, yeah, so there's a Ziz, there's who I am, and then that's like me, and then there's Ziz, and that's like that's the idea of me that I'm portraying to you guys. That's like that's this lifestyle that like I want to show you guys. Basically, just like not giving a fuck, like doing what you want to do. Life is short, so have fun, because that's what he did. I think he just worked like I think he just worked like a regular job.
Yeah. Like a desk job.
He'd rave with his brother and stuff like that. And but that legacy that he kind of left behind was what I was going to say was his brother, who I want to say isn't, not bashing him at all, isn't quite as charismatic as him. Didn't quite have. Do you know his brother Syed?
Yeah, he actually used to follow me on Instagram, I think.
He's dope. Like I've chatted back and forth in his comments with him before. He's nice.
He's
like
a regular guy.
He's like a regular guy. Not like his brother. Like not quite the same personality. Yeah. Not quite as charismatic. But he almost kind of like, I don't want to say has to like pretend to be.
Well, he looks similar. He has a similar build. He's not quite the same physique. Yeah. And like you said, he's not the same person.
Right.
But I think he's trying to carry that legacy on. So he's trying to like, not necessarily, I'm not trying to say he's like trying to capitalize off his brother's memory, but he's trying to like carry it on. And like the stuff he puts out is very similar.
Totally.
It's probably content that he thinks his brother would be creating nowadays.
Right. Exactly.
But I know what you're going to say though, because he's not. He's not
the same. No, he isn't. He's not as, and he's a bit old. He's like I think he's actually a little bit older than Ziz.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's the whole thing is where I was going to touch on with that is exactly what you were saying. It's just basically, if you to a point are starting a brand or you're going to portray yourself as a certain persona on Instagram, social media, whatever, I think it to a point it does need to be you to a point. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can exaggerate things, but I think it needs to ultimately, because if you hang out with somebody if somebody hangs out with you that's like a fan of you or like that knows you on social media and they're like, oh, well, this guy's kind of a piece of shit. Like, you know what I mean? And I think these like little interactions that people kind of have maybe at expos with people where they're kind of like, oh man, like I met so-and-so and he was kind of a cock. Like he's kind of he's kind of a dick. I don't think you should necessarily just go off of little things like that. Yeah. Think about everybody they're talking to. They're tired.
You might have caught them at a bad time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're in that spotlight, that's why you have to make sure that you're on whenever you're in the public eye. Because little things like that will resonate and they will snowball or they will spread. Yeah. And it's like, oh, so-and-so's a dickhead because I met him at an expo and, he just said he wouldn't take a picture with me. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But you have to think about fuck, dude. You have to think about like maybe why they're not doing. Okay, if somebody's at an expo or somebody's at an event like that and they're not wanting to take a picture with you or they're just being like rude. Okay, that's one. I mean, first of all, that person, that fan of you may have fucking drove like 12 hours just to see you. Yeah. Just to, you know what I'm saying? And they
waited in line for 3 hours. Like
exactly. But if somebody's like out in public, and you know what I'm saying, and they're just trying to maybe like have dinner with a friend, or they're trying to just chill with
there are levels to it.
There are certain levels. There's certain levels to it, and maybe they just don't want to. Don't get offended by it, but maybe they just don't want to take a picture with you because it's like, okay, if I take a picture with you, this person that maybe doesn't even know me is probably just going to want to come take a fuck just for the clout.
Oh, I've seen that. I've seen that happen where it's like, I was walking around with like, who was I walking around with? I was walking around with somebody at an expo, and they're somewhat big time in the fitness community, but like, who was it?
Was it at an O or was it?
It might have been an LA Fit, but like he's not well known.
Yeah,
and like some fan stopped him and was like, "Hey, can I get a picture?" And then like you see other people start to like, "Who is that?"
Yeah.
Oh, that must be somebody.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get a picture with him.
It's like, a clout or whatever. It's like
it's like, oh, I just want to get a picture because who knows, that guy might be really big. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like, I don't know.
Like have you ever seen somebody post like a picture? It's actually kind of funny. Have you ever seen somebody post a picture with somebody and they're like, who is this guy? Like I've literally seen people like post shit like that.
I've never seen that
on fucking like Instagram. I'm trying to think. God, there was one that I was trying to think of. I think actually one of my buddies one time sent me a picture with Nick Diaz.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, he was like, do you guys know this guy? Or like something like that. And I was like, yeah, I know. It's Nick. It wasn't Nate. It was Nick Diaz. I was like, yeah, bro, that's Nick Diaz. But what I was thinking of before was like a literal post that went viral. And it was like, I think it was like a girl. And I can't remember who the celebrity was specifically off the top of my head. But it was like, who is this? Like question mark. And I was just like, oh my God.
I've definitely seen that on like I think Barstool posted something. It was like like a selfie with like some older lady, and she was on, I think it might have been like Nicolas Cage or something, and it was like a copy of a like text message like, do you know who this is? And the kid's like, that's Nicolas Cage or whatever. Like, and the person was totally clueless who it was.
Maybe, maybe it could be like a funny. They're like, oh, I saw this guy in a movie, and like I don't know what his name is.
That's funny too. When you see, like, I'll listen to some podcasts and I'll hear people tell you that every now and then. Like they'll talk about fan interactions, and it's like so and so ran into me, and they're like, "You're in a movie, aren't you?" And it's like, I saw you in that movie, and they don't know what that person's name is, but they know that they've seen him somewhere, and it's, I don't know, it's funny.
No,
but
it's
fucking
funny,
and it's like, I understand why you're getting the picture, but like, come on. Like, you're just getting a picture. Like, what are you going to do with that picture?
Right.
You're going to post a picture and be like, hey, I was with the guy from so-and-so movie. Yeah. It's like, but you're not a fan. Like, why post that?
No, exactly. That's kind of the thing. Unless you're like legit. And honestly, my mentality with that completely shifted from when I was at the 15 Olympia, the first one that I went to when I saw you there, and the one that we went to last year, 2018. My mentality with that totally shifted. Again, it's at an expo, so it's different because they're kind of prepped for it. They know that, you know, you're gonna want to take pictures with them or whatever. But I feel like celebrities, people who are well known, social media influencers, I think to a point kind of appreciate just being talked to like a normal fucking person.
Oh, I bet 100%, because I bet it's like it's because you're right. It's almost a genuine interaction as opposed to somebody coming up and just being like, hey. Because I've done that before, like especially when I was younger, and you meet somebody, you're like, you just want to get a picture with them, but like you end up not really talking to them. You end up just being like, hey, I'm James, and then like take the picture, and then that's the end of the interaction. It's like, that's probably gets so old. It's like you just want somebody to ask you, how's your day going?
Exactly. No, exactly. Like, how are you? Yeah, you know, and that's crazy. Like, I think about things like that. It might be different. Like, I think about people who are like really well known, like. Let's even say like Justin Bieber. I don't want to say The Rock because that's kind of different because he's a sociable person. Justin Bieber, maybe even fucking Dan Bilzerian. I wonder like how many people genuinely want to just hang out with him to hang out with Dan or to hang out with Justin. Not because
it probably gets hard at that point because you're like, when you're in that position, like everybody wants to hang out with you, but like how many of those people just want to hang out with you because of who you are and not necessarily who you are as a person?
That could probably depress the shit out of some people.
I bet you that's why like they have small circles or like, or they don't create new friends or whatever. Like on a small scale, I've had people like come and try to be, you know, friendly with me because like, especially when I had Gunsmith, because they wanted to be associated with the brand, right? And like it's obvious when somebody is simply just trying to be friends with you because they want something from you, as opposed to somebody who is trying to be like genuine with you, and like it's fairly obvious, but like sometimes it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people get, and that's the thing too, is it's kind of unfortunate. Like people get taken advantage of and stuff like that, and that's why I think these days specifically, it's hard to find, not impossible, but it's hard to find those genuine friendships and those genuine relationships with people where it's like, okay, you want to just kick it with me, like just to hang out, or you want to go to the gym with me just to work out with me, or like whatever, like what do you want from me, sort of thing.
Especially with the social media aspect of it, like I could see like, but in the same respect, I think it's also a little bit easier because now your circle of people that you can interact with is so large through social media that like you can create friendships with people that you would normally on a regular basis never interact with. Like, totally. I like through social media, I have a bunch of friends through social media that some of whom I've met in person, some of whom I've never met in person, but like I talk to on a somewhat regular basis. And it's like, if we ever, you know, now I have friends, if I go to, you know, if I go to like Texas, I have friends in Texas that I can hang out with, or friends in like that I would never normally have, but through social media has been opened. Yeah. But at the same time, I get what you're saying as well too.
Building a good network and totally, and it's and at the same time, I think it's you know, people talk about how, which I actually do believe, like people talk about how like social media has ruined a lot of things. Social media has fucked up a lot of. I believe that to a point, but like what you said, I think it's not so much. I think this can go off on a tangent with a lot of different things, but I think it's not necessarily social media, but how are you on social media? Who are you on social media?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And that's
what are you trying to portray on social media, and what are your intentions?
Or we could even say this might spark up some conversations for a lot of people. You could even go as far as saying things like gun laws and stuff like that. Okay, guns can do like whatever. Here's a gun. Who has the gun? Who has access to this information? You know what I'm saying? The blah blah blah.
It's not the tool that's the issue. It's how you're using the tool.
Using it.
Yeah, 100%. And that's with everything.
That's
right?
with everything. Yeah.
You know, you could say that same thing about steroids.
Yeah.
Like what like. Are you abusing them or drugs? Like there are certain drugs, like, you know, like let's say marijuana. Like, are you using it for a specific purpose? Are you overusing it? Like or alcohol? Like what? Are you having like a drink with your friends, or are you getting blacked out every night?
No,
you know
that's
what I mean?
the thing. And I can relate to that one and that's why I'm taking, I'm going to do a little after this weekend. I'm doing some time off of drinking is just because I don't necessarily believe that I have an addictive personality. Like with things, I guess if there's one thing that I am addicted to, it's probably the gym. It's probably the gym, which I think is healthy for the most part. Can also be unhealthy for
if it's only the only part of your life. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. But with alcohol, for me specifically, it was getting to a point where it's like, I'm just like, I'm not drinking every day, but it's when I am drinking, it's like I'm like blacking out.
You're doing too much.
Binging. And it's to a point where it's like, okay, I want to make I've made some progress in the gym and I want to keep making progress. So I'm just going to back off of that for health reasons. And because I think a lot of people use it as a coping mechanism or to just kind of numb
some issues. And cover some issues.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like balance. You got to have the balance to it. Like, you know, you like the gym, but you can only experience so much benefit from the gym if you're getting blacked out and like destroying your body. It's like you're making 2 steps forward in the gym, and then the weekend comes and you're blacked out 3 nights in a row.
Totally.
And you're like taking a step back.
Yeah.
So you're only going to progress so much, and so then in the end, the thing that you care the most about, which is the gym, or like something that you care deeply about, the gym, is suffering because of this extra thing, which over the long term is going to have a negative effect, because you're going to be like, 4 years down the road, you're going to be like, I look the same. Like, I don't look as good as I want to. I don't feel as good as I want to. And it's because of this.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And for the first time in my life, actually, when I was in California, when I was living in SoCal, I was drinking. I started towards the end of when I was living there, just because of like, I was around it. I was working in a bar, and like I was around it so much, I would literally just drink on the job. I was a functioning alcoholic. Because I wouldn't call in. I wasn't like my work rate wasn't necessarily hindered in any way. I was still doing everything. But no, I did. For the first time in my life, alcohol actually I was like 2 steps forward, like 3 steps back. Like it was actually like, I was like, fuck, now it's like, I'm not even able to maintain a certain look. Now it's like, I'm actually destroying my body.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it, like you said, it's just balance. And actually, I think alcohol, like people who like to drink on weekends or people who like to get, have some drinks here and there, that's fine. I would just say the big one for me was, probably like what I eat after I drink and stuff like that.
That plays a role into it. That plays a role in how you recover from it too. Like I've noticed, especially because I was in a similar thing when I was, in my mid 20s. Like I was still living that college lifestyle, and I was working out hard and working out consistently, but I wasn't eating spectacularly, and I was playing rugby and drinking quite a bit, and like blacking out and drinking quite like a lot on a regular basis. Like on a weekly basis, I drink like Friday, Saturday nights, you know what I mean? But like hard. And your body doesn't recover, and your physique reflects that, right? Like I was still working out, maybe just as hard as I am now, but I wasn't benefiting. I wasn't showing those results because of all the alcohol and all the shitty foods. And then my body was taking longer to recover after that, because I'm not eating the right foods to replenish all the shit that I'm doing to it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Did you feel like every time when you were in that period of your life, like, did you feel like every time that you drank, like you had to black out? Like you were like you couldn't just have, maybe not necessarily had to black out, because I don't think anybody necessarily says like, oh, I'm gonna black out tonight, sort of thing. Well, some people do.
No, I was definitely that guy.
But
I was definitely that guy. We're gonna black out tonight.
No, but that's me too. I do that too, but like after I've had some drinks, usually. But actually, no, that's a lie.
Because I'd be in the liquor store and be like, I'm gonna get this whole bottle.
No,
we're gonna black out tonight.
Yeah, no, that's valid. I do that all the time.
But you're not going with the intention of like, I'm gonna black out and do some stupid shit and like hurt myself tomorrow.
Yeah.
And feel like I want to feel like ass tomorrow.
Never. I swear to. Every time I wake up the next day, I'm like, I never think about this. I'm like, I never think about how fucking terrible I feel right now. And I always wake up, I'm like, I'm never drinking again.
And next week comes around, you're like, it's like you have that 51st States like mentality, like memory. You're like, I don't remember it. I'm good, dude.
Yeah.
Let's go take some shots.
God, so fucking true though. But no, that's how I guess in a way it's like, I am an alcoholic because it's like I drink I don't like to say that, but it's like it's true. But it's like I realize.
But like
there's
also levels to being an alcoholic. Yeah. Like you're literally not drinking every single day.
No, yeah.
But you're binge drinking heavily.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I feel like I can't,
which is almost just as bad.
I can't go to definitely it's fucking,
and it's expensive.
It's expensive. Yeah. I know. Definitely my fucking debit card's gonna be appreciative, and my bank account is gonna save some money, taking a little break for sure, but I feel like I was like at a point where I'm like, I can't just go have a few drinks. It's like 10 shots and then maybe another couple drinks, sort of thing. It's like, and a lot of that I think too can have to do with like people's tolerances and stuff. But anyway, it's just like,
it's also intention. Like, are you like, hey, we're going to go out with the boys and we're going to get sloshed and like, I'm going to try to hook up with some girls. Like, or are you like, hey, I'm going to have a beer with dinner or something.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like the environment changes that too.
Yeah.
And I think like personally, like I don't drink as much as I did in my 20s for various reasons.
Right.
Like I made some really stupid decisions when I was younger. But also like my priorities changed. Like I care about this fitness thing. Right. Like I want to look my best. I want to perform my best. So I have to scale back on the drinking. Right. Like I enjoy going out with the boys. I don't like feeling like trash the next day, but I enjoy going out with the boys and having some drinks and like going to a club or going to a bar and hanging out. But I don't like the way I feel, and I don't like what it does to my body. Yeah. So I scaled that back. So now I only drink, every now and then.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I went out with you guys a couple weeks ago, or I'll save myself. Like when we go to the Olympia, I'll drink, or when we go to the LA Fit, I'll drink a little bit.
Because then it's fun. It's like for a purpose.
And it becomes more of an event. Like it's not like it's like a special occasion kind of thing. You know what I mean? And also, I tend to not be as. It doesn't affect my body as badly as it did before. Like, because it's something I don't do very often, and my body, because I'm staying on point with my nutrition, kind of processes it a little bit differently. Like I don't feel as I still will feel hungover, but I don't feel as destroyed.
Yeah.
Like when we went to Vegas like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That was 2 Olympias ago, I guess now.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Like I hadn't drank leading into that.
Right.
But then we went hard for like 3 nights. Yeah. And I wasn't terrible. I didn't feel bad.
Yeah.
I was all right. I functioned.
I just kept that shit rolling. I fucking
you ended up staying in Vegas like a couple extra nights after that, I think.
Literally, like I remember waking up. Do you remember that was the day I fucked up my ankle? I think I woke up and I took that pull off the bottle. I remember. Do you remember that? It was when we saw Laura. I think I woke up and we had that fucking. I think it was the half gallon Tito's. It was like 10 o'clock. Literally woke up, didn't shower, was in the same fucking clothes that
we went right to the expo.
Went right to the expo, ripped a fucking pull of vodka at like 10 in the morning, and just kept that bitch rolling.
But you're in Vegas, so it's acceptable.
It's the thing and that's kind of like my whole thing. I have a blast when I go to Vegas, whether it's, you know what I mean? And I had like that, and then like a little annoying shit will happen where it's like I had like ripped pants on, the guy wouldn't let me into the fucking. I got really upset. Like
these pants are more expensive than the ones you're wearing right now.
Yeah, dude. I know. I was. No, I was pretty salty about that one. No,
I was salty too. I was like, damn, I want to go in that.
I know.
I was salty because it ended up costing us more money because Josh and I ended up going to a different club. That was like, by then it was like $80 a person.
You guys actually had you guys had fun that night though, right?
That was was that the first night we went?
Was,
that was the first night we went out. No, it was my second night in Vegas because you guys were already there the first night, like when I got there. But the second night, that was when we went out.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let you in the club. And I think Josh and I ended up at Dre's.
Yeah.
And we saw, who did we see?
That's right.
Shit, I can't even think of who.
Where did we start? Where was the club?
We were trying to
let me in.
We were trying to go to Marquee.
That's
and
right.
they wouldn't let you into Marquee.
Yeah.
Because of your ripped pants.
And then when I got really pissed,
which weren't even really ripped.
No, they were. No, I was actually.
And they let somebody else in, I think, right? That was wearing ripped pants.
Well, I felt like he was like targeting me. Like in a way,
they didn't let somebody else in that had ripped pants. They let somebody in that didn't look like you were wearing like a nice shirt and like nice shoes.
Yeah,
you the jeans were nice. They were just like had some stylish rips.
Right.
And I think they let some guy in that was wearing like
just some
like a
fucking average Joe.
Yeah, like a jumpsuit or some shit, like a shitty shirt.
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
I remember like looking at it and I was like,
but he also had girls with him.
He did. That's the thing.
So that's the major key here.
Fucking Vegas, dude. You know what I mean?
That's like when we were trying to get into Dre's after hours with Skywalker.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, Skywalker can come in, but all you guys, that's too many dudes.
Yeah. No.
So you guys got to wait in line.
Dude, honestly, fucking shout out to him for literally like staying with us.
That was pretty cool.
That was like really cool.
Because they were like, yeah, you can go right in, John, but you got like 6 dudes with you.
That was Jared Donnie who came out, who was like, "Hey, let's go in." Like he was like talking to John. He was the one who came over and he's like, "Hey, are you coming in or whatever?" And Brandon and John were with us, and then the couple. Do you still follow them? I think it's
Kieran was with us too.
Kieran was with us. There was that couple. He's fucking
Brian.
Brian
Was with him.
Yeah. Brian was.
I actually saw Brian at the LA Fit.
Nice.
Last year.
I
didn't recognize him. I was like, what the fuck?
He's like he's actually looking pretty good right now. He looks shredded. He's looking pretty fucking diced.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, dude. That's the thing is if you have girls with you or you're known or you're networked or whatever. But that's why I just got super salty about it because I was like, and then there was some dude I think behind us. They didn't let him in because his shoes were too white. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't hear that.
He's like they didn't let me in because my shoes were too white.
Well, speaking from somebody who used to work the door at a nightclub, if they don't want you to come in, and it was honestly probably because we didn't have any girls with us.
Yeah,
like we were 3 dudes. And we're just trying to get into a nightclub, and they'll come up with any reason whatsoever to find you not let you guys in.
Right.
So they're probably like, "Hey, the guy with the white shoes. He probably was a dude by himself, or actually, if you're a dude by yourself, you probably have a decent chance. But if you're a group of dudes, unless you're buying a bottle or like have money, they're not going to just let you in. You know what I mean?
That's what I heard about Dan's parties that Dan Bilzerian has. I heard that so if you and I got invited to go to one,
we'd be fine, but we couldn't bring any dudes with us. We could bring chicks. We could bring as many chicks as we want.
Yeah,
but no dudes.
Exactly.
And I respect Dan for that.
You
got to keep the ratio good, man.
I think
because how many dudes would want to go to a party like that? Like, hey, let's say you got invited to the party. I'd be like every dude you know would be like, Wes, take me to the party. Exactly. You'd be like, hell yeah, I'm gonna bring 5 dudes with me.
Yeah.
You know, maybe 4 of them are assholes and gonna ruin the party.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And then 10 dudes bring 5 dudes each. It's 50 extra dudes.
Yeah, then it's like a 50-to-1 ratio. Even with all the fucking girls that he has there,
and,
bro.
I mean, I'm sure, he has to portray, he has an image now. You go to dance, it's gonna be beautiful women, half naked, and there's gonna be a lot of them.
It's
if he has 100 dudes in a picture, people are gonna be like, why is there nothing but dudes at this party?
Exactly.
So
he has a certain.
I respect it. I was actually listening to Robert Frank. I was listening to his podcast.
Remind me who that is again.
That's the guy. He does the videos in his car, super tanned up with the headband. He's screaming at it.
He's like, oh yeah, just like almost like the Macho Man Randy Savage kind of voice.
Just all trend out, But he was talking about because he got invited to Dan's party, the Halloween party or whatever, and he was talking about he's like there were 3,500 people on the guest list, and Dan shut off an entire street leading up to the thing, and you had to get shuttled in.
3,500 people.
Yeah, on the guest list.
Holy shit!
But he went into it. He was talking about how they went into it, and it's he had to go through like a front desk check-in where they got like a wristband, like, and there were different wristbands for different people. Like,
it's like a fucking club.
It's like an actual club, and it's like it's epic.
It's
I would say he's the
house.
modern day
Hugh
Hefner. You know what I mean?
Yeah, with a twist.
Like he's almost like, no disrespect to Hugh Hefner, but he's kind of a cooler version of Hugh Hefner.
Yeah, he's like a more modern.
Like he shoots guns. He does cool shit.
Right. Fucking poker.
Imagine though if Hugh Hefner had Instagram when he was like starting Playboy and like through the heyday of Playboy. Like I bet it would be somewhat similar.
Well, that's kind of like the funny thing is maybe it's like
we just didn't see it.
We didn't see it. Yeah.
It wasn't broadcast. It was kept under the rug a little bit.
Yeah, no, totally. He could. I mean, that could be like kind of like a little bit different kind of like of a comparison, but it's like people who were in like Arnold's time era, like how like they think they were all kind of like the best. The 90s bodybuilders kind of, I think that they're all the best. So maybe it's kind of just one of those things where it's like, what era were you in and what did you see?
And we just have more access now. You can see somebody prepping for a show.
Yeah.
Like Arnold's era, the shows meant more because you didn't see, that's the only time you saw somebody.
Right.
You saw somebody in the magazines if you trained with them.
Yeah.
Or at a show.
Right.
Like, so you wouldn't see like the beginning of their prep. You wouldn't see them during their prep. I think that's why Pumping Iron was so successful, is because it was like the first time you saw somebody getting ready for a show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays, like you'll see like updates every week. This is what I'm looking like. And you'll see them develop. So like you don't necessarily need to tune into the show to see how somebody looks.
Yeah.
So the shows don't mean as much. Like you hear about like, oh, the Romanian pro or whatever. It's like, I don't need to see who was on there. Like I don't need to see the results because I saw it on Instagram. Like so and so looks like this.
Like it's like the value and it's not as, or just our ability to basically access the information. It gives.
There was more mystique back then because you didn't see how these guys were prepping for these shows, and like it wasn't as well known. But now you see like full day of eating. This is my vlog. This is me getting ready for the Olympia. This is like, so you see everything. So you don't. It loses kind of its luster. You know what I mean? Like when Arnold's on stage, it's like, oh shit, like he looks amazing. This is the first time you're seeing him in like 16 weeks. Man.
Right. That's what I thought was so cool about Dorian, was because even like a lot of those bodybuilders in his time era would still like go train together in LA and stuff like that. You know, they'd go work out together, but he was just on his own thing. And so he'd come out and they're like, fuck, he's like bigger again this year. He's like, you know what I mean? We literally only see him once a year. He comes in, just hits the shadow, fucking just comes in. I've thought about kind of taking an approach like that. Not necessarily with like how frequently I post or how often, but just
decreasing
what
you
like
show.
Not showing. So yeah, just so it's like, okay, so Wesley's at the gym, he's posting himself either doing a workout or posting himself flexing, same shit every single day. Maybe take like, okay, all right, so I'm gonna fucking like put some time in, and then I'm gonna like post 6 months from now.
Or you're only posting in like a hoodie.
Yeah.
Nobody can see what you're actually looking like
Yeah.
physique wise. You're just like at the gym and you're just in a full hoodie sweatsuit.
Yeah, exactly. Just fucking double XL.
Yeah. Just looking
huge hoodie.
extra small in your hoodie, and then like everyone's like, well, he's working out, but they don't know like what.
Yeah.
They don't know how hard you're working or how hard you're dieting.
Yeah.
That's a cool approach. That's like the bulk season approach right there. Like nobody's wearing like tank tops in the winter. Like you're always wearing a hoodie, and then summer comes around and you're like, oh man, that guy's been making some gains.
Yeah. There was a dude, I remember, I think it was when we were both at I think it was when we were both at the club. There was a guy that used to work out there, and I can't remember his name. He's still around here. I've seen him at Planet a few times. He's a bit thinner now. I don't know if he works out as often, but he used to go to the club and he used to volunteer there, and he would do the cleaning and stuff like that, so he could get his membership. And he used to always work out in this really big like XL like green. He was like he's probably like a.
Do you have a red beard?
Or no. No, he was like tall. He's probably about your height.
Oh.
He's probably about your height and like brown, like short brown hair, a bit thinner, not even close to as big as you, but like he would always work out in this big, like huge shirt. And I remember there was one time where I saw him like lift his shirt up in the mirror because I was like, I can tell, like I can kind of see his traps popping.
He looks built.
Yeah, I was like, I can see some traps. I can see some delts kind of popping out there like a little bit. And I was younger. I was like, but I still had an idea. And There's one time I saw him lift up his shirt and homeboy was shredded.
Really?
Homeboy was
That's
diced.
kind of cool.
Like I know it. I was like, that's the only. Even in the locker room, never saw him take his shirt off, anything like that. He was just a sneaker, bro.
He's just jacked.
And he was just jacked.
That's kind of cool.
Shirt. It is.
And that would be a cool approach because nobody does that nowadays.
Yeah.
Everything nowadays is like, hey, this is me with my shirt off.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of that too because like that's what gets the likes. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the shirt off.
Exactly.
Even if I don't look super good, if I have the shirt off, I'm getting more likes. So it's like that's like the opposite approach, but it would be kind of cool. Like, and then eventually you just do that reveal video where you're like pulling it off.
Oh, dude, now I have an idea of that in my head for like a quick little. I want to maybe get together with Fit Maya or like you or something to do like a cool like. I like those cool little like minute long videos, almost like a little kind of like a gym montage kind of thing. And I want to do one where I actually like kind of just start getting serious with shit, just back off on the drinking and actually kind of put a meal plan together and start making some progress and just do like a fucking just like right when the song drops, just kind of like pull off the jacket and just fucking just you know what I mean? Like I can picture it in my head. It doesn't sound as cool talking about it, but I have this idea of something like that. And
like it's like the same shot of you walking into the gym, like different hoodie, and then eventually like the very end of the video you take off the hoodie and you're just like jacked.
He's like, okay, here we go.
Or you put the hoodie on and you're maybe like not as jacked.
Yeah.
And then the whole video is you having the hoodie and then at the very end you take off the hoodie and you're jacked.
I want to do some shit like that, bro. I just need to
you just need the biggest thing is you just need to hammer down on it. Like
yes, exactly.
It's one of those things where it's like there are levels to the shit. Like, you take your nutrition somewhat seriously, you take your training somewhat seriously, but like there's levels to it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like the last 2 weeks last 2 months, I've kind of been coasting with my training. Like still probably more disciplined and more intense than the average person.
Yeah.
But like not nearly as intense as it needs to be to look the way I did in like May and June. You know
exactly.
What I mean? So there's just different levels to it. Like it's like you're turning the knob up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that's kind of the thing too. And I think that's actually kind of an interesting concept is I feel like there were times when I was probably 2021 where I was training like really hard.
Yeah.
Like I was working out like really, really hard. And I think, and that's actually a question that I want to ask, like some of these like pro bodybuilders and stuff like that. Like, okay, so when you get to a certain level with your physique, are you kind of just in maintenance mode? You know what I'm saying? How frequent are you going to the gym like now in your life? Because it's like, I don't know, like I'm talking about like dudes that are like how much crazier can like your physique get? You know what I'm saying? Like you had to push it into overdrive to get to a point that you're at now. To a point,
I would say that the intensity or doesn't necessarily elevate. I think it's just minor tweaks that create like slightly adjusting how you're performing a certain exercise,
right?
Because at that point it's like you already have all this muscle. Now you're just making like fine details, like, oh, I'm gonna do deadlifts twice a week now instead of like once a week, or I'm gonna take carbs out of this part of the day and put them in this part of the day. Like I'm gonna do a little bit harder cardio here, like little tiny tweaks. I think make major differences at that point because you're not making dramatic changes at that point. I feel like
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not like you're like, oh, I've never squatted before, now I'm gonna squat.
Right.
Like that's a major change to your training, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not something drastic, I think. I don't know because I'm not at that level, right? But I would assume just from seeing like how certain people train, and and I think it also comes down to who the person is, right?
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like Seth Feroce, I'm sure I don't think he trains as probably as hard as he used to.
Right.
I don't want to say hard. He doesn't train as frequently probably as he did when he was younger. Like probably before he was maybe hitting muscle groups twice a week.
Right.
Now maybe he's hitting once a week. You know what I mean?
I think it boils down to
and the intensity within those workouts is probably just as high, if not higher.
Right. Yeah.
Because he's getting better contraction or he's getting, he's shortening rest periods or I don't know. Well, or increasing weight or something. He's doing something. Intensity probably doesn't change frequency probably changes.
And I think how you know your body and like you're like what works for you.
Yeah.
And you can exactly like
you
what
can
you were
refine
saying. You can refine it, and those dudes are so fucking in tune with their body too. Like they're like even their range of motion with things. Like I mean, Dorian would say he's like, yeah, I go to the gym for like 45 minutes to an hour, but it's like a hard hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like he would say that he would train when he was at that elite level. He said that he trained I think like 4 times a week.
Yeah, and he was only doing one set, but one set is you hear one set and the average person's like, oh, that's nothing.
Yeah.
But he's not counting the warm up and working sets.
Right.
He's saying one working set with like failure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
he's maybe doing 6 sets to get to that weight.
Yeah.
But he's not just going in and doing. He's not loading 5 plates on the leg press on each side and doing 1 set to failure and that's it. Like he's working up to that. Like,
that's a thing that I think online trainers and stuff like that, and some of these people who are kind of just, I don't necessarily.
It's a misconception.
It's a misconception. I think people need to be more transparent with some people who buy these programs and they're like, okay, 3 sets of 10 on this. Steve Cook posts videos where he's like 3 working sets of 10 on this.
And
so
working set,
right.
the average person doesn't know what that means.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like a working set. So that could actually be like by the time they've done those 3 sets, they could have actually done like fucking 7 sets. You know what I'm saying? And that's a thing. So like, yeah, and a lot of people don't know that. Like they'll do a workout and they're like, okay, 3 sets of 10. It's like, well, this isn't very hard, or they'll just do 10 reps. And I'm like, well, was that really easy for you? Up the weight, or really, however you're training, whether if you're like a power lifter, you're just moving the weight from point A to point B. That's one thing. Or how are you training? Are you really are you making that hard? Like, you know what I mean? Is it like slow negatives? Are you really blah, 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 blah. But like transparency with things like that, because 3 sets of 10 doesn't sound like shit, but it's like, if
you do 3 working sets of 10, like you might have done 5 sets. Right. Like, and I did Arnold's yesterday with Skinny Steve, and we did probably like 5 or 6 sets of every exercise. Yeah. But we were only probably doing 3 working sets of each exercise, right? So I think when I write my programs, I don't write working sets. I write actual sets, because I assume that you're going to do like 1 warm-up set. Right. You're going to do at least 1 warm-up set. So people are like, oh man, there's so much volume in your program. It's like, well, really, it's kind of the same volume as like Steve Cook's like 3 sets of 10, right? I just have you doing 5 sets of 10, right? But I'm accounting for the fact that you're probably going to do 2 warm-up sets, right? And then you're actually going to get to some serious weight. You know what I mean?
Exactly. No, and I was actually going to ask you about that, because I go back and forth with it. When you train, do you like to, I guess it totally depends on what you're training for and what your goals are and stuff like that. But when you like to train, do you like to warm up with lighter weight and sometimes kind of pre-exhaust the muscle? Or do you like to warm up? And when I say warm up, I mean like kind of stretch, do some dynamic work and stuff like that. Make sure you're not fucking tearing your shit up, and then go immediately into heavy. And then
I'll do some work. I'll do some pre-exhaust sets. Yeah. But it depends. Sometimes I'll lower the volume on those sets. Like if I know I'm going to go for a heavy single, I'm only going to do like maybe singles working up. I'm not going to do sets. I might do like 8 or 10 on the first couple sets of lightweight, but I'm going to transition into singles or doubles or triples. I'm not going to do like 20, 20, 20, 20, 20 all the way up to, a single, right? Yeah.
I used to do that for the longest time when I would first like bench, and I had no idea what I was doing. I used to like always throw like, whatever, 135 on, hit it for 10, 185, hit it for 10. I'm like, all right, like this was when I was like younger, and I was like, all right, I'm going to fucking try to hit like 225, or I'm going to try to go for a max today, hit like 245 or something like that. And there was always like that barrier right there that I just,
because you'd be so exhausted.
I was so exhausted. And it's like, homeboy, just come in, hit that shit for like 1 to 3, save your, you know what I mean? Because it's like, so anyways.
There are levels to it though too, because like sometimes it depends. Like sometimes I'll do pyramiding down. Like if I'm trying to get a pump, or like I don't necessarily care about the ultimate weight that I'm doing. Right. Like even if I'm going for a heavy set of 3. Yeah. Like sometimes I'll be like, I don't necessarily care about getting the absolute most I can do at, for 3. So I'll pyramid down. I'll do like 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 3, 3, 3, or whatever. Or shorten rest periods. Right. Like I'll be like, I'm going to do 90 seconds of rest now. Yeah. And that takes a drastic impact to your strength and your recovery, obviously. Yeah. But I also think it makes you better, because you end up working a little bit harder, getting a sweat. Like sometimes if I'm not constantly moving, I don't keep my sweat or keep my pump.
I've never been on a program where I've never done like a legitimate. I did the Smolov Junior. I did that for squats. That's the one program that I actually did, and actually saw pretty good results from it. It was intense. Like you were squatting like 4 days a week, or 4 times a week. Or something.
That one's a rough one.
That one's pretty tough. But I felt a few weeks into it, I felt pretty anabolic though.
Yeah,
like,
your body adapts quickly.
It did. I felt full. There'd be some days where I'd come in and I felt like fuller.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even really that dialed in with my nutrition back then. But where was I going with that? Blah. I was just gonna say that style of training to me is so foreign. It's so hard for me. I was just in hitting chest the other day. I think it was like last week, and I can't like do a heavy set and then like sit there for like 5 minutes and wait to hit, like, you know what I'm saying? It's so hard for me to do that. I almost felt weaker when I did that, but not used to it.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Like,
and it also comes down to like, sometimes you need that rest. You know what I mean? Like, I won't necessarily take, even if I go for a heavy single or something, I'm not going to take 5 minutes every set.
Yeah.
But I'll do it like the last like 2 sets before I hit that single. Like, I'll treat it like a powerlifting meet almost. Yeah. I'll do my warm up sets, and then when I start getting to like a first attempt, then I'll start taking longer rest periods. You know what I mean? And then I'm not going to do that the rest of the workout. Like after I hit that single, I'm going to go into like shorter rest periods, like 90 seconds, 60 seconds.
Exactly. For your compound movements.
For my compound movements, I might take a little bit more rest when I start getting up there in the weight.
That's normal.
Just because you need to. You need to.
Yeah.
You know?
So there's a lot more muscles being utilized in it. Gets your heart rate up, stuff like that.
There's just different ways of doing it. A lot of it comes with experience and just being around people. Yeah. Like you can watch as many videos as you want, but like until you've actually experienced it, it's hard to actually comment on like, you know what I mean? Or until you've done it for a consistent amount of time. Like same thing goes with a program. If you hop on from program to program to program without finishing programs or actually sticking to the programs, it's hard for you to actually make a valid judgment of like how that affected you.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to actually do the program and finish the program and do it consistently the way it's meant to be done.
Right.
And then you can be like, oh, that program's trash.
Yeah.
I didn't like that program.
Well,
you know what I mean?
And I'm actually a pretty firm believer in I always with people like ask me like things about like what do you do, like, or what are your workout routines and stuff like that. I like to I didn't really ever like mess with this, but I'm sure you heard like, like muscle confusion, like stuff like that, kind of like back in the day. I can't remember who it was who used to talk about it all the time. I think it was like the P90X guy or whatever. That guy.
Muscle confusion.
Like muscle confusion, stuff like that. I was like, okay, yes, to a point, but I think your body needs to. I like to switch up things every like 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks is good.
Yeah,
because if you're switching your program or your workouts up every time you go in there,
right,
you're not getting stronger,
right,
or you're not developing, because it's all about progressive overload.
Exactly.
Like if you have to do the same thing over,
right,
and that's why I when I was doing some online clients, I don't change necessarily the program very much from week to week. And people will be like, dude, this is the same program as, I might add a couple reps here and there, but it's generally the same thing for at least 2 weeks.
Right.
And people are like, this is the same thing as I did last week. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Get better at it.
Yeah. It's like, hey,
improve on what you did last week.
I'm not sending this to you because I'm like lazy and didn't want to change your shit. There's a strategy to this.
We're not changing it because I want you to improve on what you did last week, and so you can actually gauge progress.
Exactly.
If you're doing something different every single week, it's hard to gauge progress.
Yeah.
You can maybe change up 1 or 2 exercises. Like that's what the conjugate is, right? You change up your compound movement.
Right.
But everything else is, fairly consistent from week to week. Like you're keeping the same accessories.
Yeah.
And you're getting better at those accessories because that's what those accessories are there for. They're there to improve your main movements, right? So if you're constantly changing up your accessories, you don't know if you're making progress.
Yeah.
It's hard to gauge progress. And your body isn't going to feel the need to continue to adapt. Like if you're doing a heavy set of leg curls, right? Your body's like, oh shit, we need to add more muscle mass to the hamstring. But then if you do like a different hamstring exercise, your body's like, oh, we have enough muscle for this. Like,
right.
It might grow a little bit, but it's not going to grow as effectively.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. That's why I actually have sometimes some of the better workouts I've had in my life have been from more sets and more volume
with same exercises.
Yes.
And that's what Ronnie was big for. Ronnie was famous for saying that he did the same routine every single day.
Right.
Every single time he trained.
Yeah.
Right. So he'd do the same leg workouts. He'd do, I don't know what it was, but let's say he did like a barbell squat, hack squat, leg press, leg extension, leg curl.
With
like
all
those
the weight
5
in the
exercises, right?
Yeah.
And he did those same exercises, and he would just vary like order or rep scheme, or the amount of sets. But he would do those 5 exercises because those are the movements that his body that he liked.
Exactly.
And so, there's something to be said about that.
No, there definitely is. I like to do,
but it's not trendy or popular.
Yeah,
it's not going to get you views on Instagram.
No, oh, dude, no, exactly. And we talked about that. We talked about that one of the other times I was here was fucking people who I'm like, first of all, how much time do you have in your day where you're literally, dude, like Joey Swole, for example. I've seen that dude post like a different exercise or a different angle. I'm like, are you just sitting there posted up at the gym like
staring at a cable machine like, how can I do? How could I do my adductors with this machine?
Literally, just absurd. But that's, you know what? That's what people like. People who are utilizing people who maybe just want to be at a whatever, an average fitness level, or they want to drop a few pounds or blah blah blah. They'll get bored with the shit.
Yeah. So you have to keep it.
You have to. You know,
I'm the same way. I get bored with something.
You know. So I get it. I understand. But yeah, no, I definitely believe I like the volume. That's really how I got my shoulders to kind of finally grow a bit. Was I just started just hammering them, dude. Hammering them.
Exactly.
Different angles and, you know,
figuring out what we're experiment a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. But give it some time to actually kick in. Don't be like, oh, I did this. I got to do a completely different workout next week.
Yeah.
No, give it some time.
Yeah.
Try that same workout for like a month and see how your body responds.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works. That's how your body, your body gets used to everything you do, but not fucking immediately. You know what I'm saying?
It takes time for your body to adapt or feel the need to change.
Yeah. But
it was good though, dude.
Yeah.
I think we dropped some knowledge there.
Yeah.
Boom.
No, that was actually, hey, this was a
solid episode.
Yeah. Bet you guys thought I was going to come on here and just be like a fucking drunk and just
show up hungover again.
I did do a little bit of drinking last night, but honestly, I'm kind of over it right now. I kind of want to just I will drink here and there if the boys want to go out.
If we all congregate
and
decide to go out, you might drink.
Yeah. But I want to start making some dude, I want to work out with
Make
you.
Make some gains. Let's do it.
Work out with fucking Fit Maya, bro. And I hit up Justin. I'm like, yeah, dude, I want to start hitting duo and stuff like that. So
let's do it.
Getting more serious.
All right. Well, I think this was a good episode. We should probably call it though, because it's getting long.
How long? Yeah. How do we do over there?
90 minutes, dude.
Okay.
That's a long time.
That's a good amount of time.
I doubt anybody's actually listening to this at this point. But if you are,
if you guys stayed with us,
you're a real one.
We appreciate you.
Old faithful. And if you didn't stay with us, you're not going to hear this anyway, but you kind of suck. Assholes. If we were boring, I apologize, but I think we covered some good stuff. All right. Make sure you guys follow Wes at Wes Hamble.
At Wes Hamble. I might change that soon, but yeah, just my name.
For now, it's Wes Hamble.
Yes, sir.
And follow me, James Mooney GC, Not for the Week PC on Instagram and Twitter. Big announcement, hopefully coming this next week. I'm gonna drop some bombs on y'all. And make sure you guys tell a friend, leave a review, 5-star review if you can, if you haven't already. It helps the podcast grow. And we'll talk to you guys next time.
Peace.
Stay savage, my friends.